Can we see? We can. Okay. So for this one here, we're looking at the expectation and the variance of... Oh! Come on! Right, page 1, 2, it's expectation and variance. Further expectation and variance, isn't it? Number 8. 2 fair 6-sided dice are rolled. S is the sum of the numbers shown. Calculate ES and VS. Okay, so if you just had one die, what have we got here? 1, 2, and so on, 3, 4, 5, 6. And each one is 1 over 6. This is our die, and this is our probability. So just for a single die, what do you expect to get on your die? Well, that works out to be 3.5, isn't it? I think we did that one. And what about the variance? Oh, I don't. Does anyone have this calculated? I know we did this one before. It was actually, it's 91 over 6 minus 49 over 4 or something. Can someone tell me what that is, please? Say again? 35 over 12. So the expectation for the sum of 2 would be the expectation of a die plus the other die. So that should be just 7. And the variance of the sum should be the variance of the die plus the other die. Right? Yeah? That's going to be 35 over 6, is that right? Does it? What number is this? 8? 35 over 3. Oh, yeah. It should be. Oh. Oh. I know what I did wrong there for that. I know what I did wrong there for that. Yeah, that answer's wrong. It should be 35 over 6. Should. 35 over 12 plus 35 over 12. Yeah. I have to explain something. It's something I realised I didn't perhaps drive home in the last class. I'll just scroll to the side. So if you have variance of x plus variance of y, that's equal to variance of x plus variance of y. And remember we said if it was ax, that would be a squared variance of x. We remember this, right, don't we? So I realised what I did wrong when I calculated the answer the first time. I said variance of the die plus the die is equal to variance of 2d, which will equal 4 variance of d, which is why I got the wrong answer. Now, I wonder if anyone here can tell me, what mistake did I make in this line? Which is the mistake? Which is the first wrong part? Well, what's wrong with 2d? Yeah. No. Well, no. No. It's, well, hang on, I think Priscilla might have it. What is it? No, no, I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. It isn't 2 times D. You're rolling 2 different dice. You're not rolling 1 dice and doubling the score. So if anything, it's a bit more like D1 plus D2 rather than 2 of doubling 1 score. Yeah. So yeah, that my answer is definitely wrong there. It should have been 35 over 6. So that was a good one, actually. So it makes me wonder if the answer for number 9 is right or not. Let me just check it. Can I just do number 9? So in number 9, you roll 10 dice and you add up their scores and divide by 10. So what's the expectation of x here? So that would be expectation of the first score plus the second score all the way up divided by 10. So that one there would be 1 over 10 expectation of the first score plus 1 over 10 for the second, and so on. That's 0.35 plus 0.35. And we saw this last time as well. That's 3.5. Doesn't change. Because remember we said another meaning of expected value is the long run average. Okay. The variance of x will be very similar. The only difference is on this line. It's not 1 over 10. What would it become? It's 1 over 10 squared. Yeah, very good. Okay. And what do we say the variance was for the die? 35 over 12. Okay. So that would be 35 over 100 times 12 plus 35 over 100 times 12. So that ends up being 35 over 110 times 10, 120. Yeah, so as I think I made the same mistake there for that one. So that should be the answer for that one.
It's 120, not 1,000. 12 times 100.
Yeah, and I have 10 of them. So I just cleaned it up a little bit. Yeah, that was just for 9.
So the answer is not.
It's the variance is wrong in 8 and 9. It's correct. Oh, nice. Okay, that works. So it was just the previous one that was wrong. It's 35 over 6, not. Okay. Okay, that's good then. That's good. Now, what do we need to see next?
I have a question, but
What lesson? Venn diagram. Yep.
Number
10, yep. What page is that? 94? Venn diagram? Yeah. A class has 11 students in it. 5 study maths, 5 study physics, 4 study history, 2 students study maths and physics, 2 students study maths and history, and 2 students study physics and history. 1 student studies maths, physics, and history. Let's draw the Venn diagram. Maths, physics, history. Here's the trick. It's always easiest to start at the centre, which means we should start backwards. So what was the last thing I tell you? 1 student studies maths, physics, and history. So that's 1. 2 students study physics and history. 2 students study physics and history. So what goes here?
2.
No. 1. 2 students study maths and history. 2 students study maths and history. 2 students study maths and physics. 4 students study history. 5 students study physics. 5 students study maths. There are 11 students in the class. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That's it there. How many students study maths and not physics nor history? 2. How many students study physics and not maths or history? 2, yeah. And how many students study history and not maths or physics? 1 then. How many students do not study either maths, physics nor history? 2. How many students study maths and physics but not history? 1. Maths and physics but not history. Yeah, 1. Of the students that study history, there's 4. What is the ratio of those that study maths to those that study physics to those that do not study maths or physics? So what is the ratio of those who study maths, which is 2, to those that study physics? 2 study maths here, don't they? 2 study physics. To those that do not study maths nor physics. 2, 2, 1? Yeah. What's wrong, Dasha? But it starts off saying, of the students that study history. You understand the grammar there? Yeah. Okay. Is that okay, Ishpreet? Yes? Another question?
Yeah.
Yes?
The next page.
Did we not do this one? I think we can do it again, huh?
Yeah, the answer here for B, 10B says it's 1.
Oh, what should it be? Oh, it should be 2, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, this is a typo then.
And 10D.
It should be...
2.
Thank you. Yeah. Pencil box? Like pencil case? Have you tried Easton?
Yeah,
Yeah? I think that would be... Sometimes they have them in Tesco, but only at the start of the school year. So I wouldn't expect them to have it now. But Euro shops are a good place too. You know Euro shops? Like, where's the nearest one? No, that's gone now. The one at the corner.
So they're not opposite same
Oh yeah, you have to walk further down now. Yeah, yeah. Ishpreet, do you want me to do number 10 here? Yes? Okay. Ah, and you didn't watch the video. Ah, that was the morning class you missed, wasn't it? I could even tell you the date we did it. I just need to look back to Wednesday that you missed. Here we go. The 5th of February. Ishpreet was absent for that Wednesday tutorial. I'd say that's when we did it. But if the class doesn't mind, we can do it again. They're geniuses, huh? Right. Well, it's good practice to do it again. Let's have a look at it. The next page. Number 10 there. Here's a quick Venn diagram of events A and B. The probability of event A is the same as the probability of event B. Okay, so they're equally likely. The probability of event A is twice that of the probability of event A and B. The probability of event B is twice that of the probability of event A and B. And the probability of A or B is 9 times more than the probability of neither A or B. Okay, so there's a lot of information here. We have to break it down bit by bit. The probability of event A is the same as the probability of event B. So it means whatever I put here for A, it has to be the same as B. So if I call this X, that kind of forces me to call this Y and Y, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Because the probability of A will be X plus Y, and probability of B will be X plus Y. And they have, I tell you at the very first thing, the probability of event A is the same as the probability of event B. Then I tell you, the probability of event A is twice that of the probability of A and B. Okay, so the probability of event A is twice the probability of A and B. Which is like that, isn't it? That's A and B. Yeah. No, it's not. Sorry. That's wrong. What's A and B? What's A and B? It's X. That's A and B. I did A or B. Does that let us solve anything? No. The probability of event B is twice that of the probability of A and B. Oh, that's useless. The probability of A or B is 9 times more than the probability of neither A nor B. Okay, neither A nor B is 1 minus X minus 2Y. Hmm?
Probability of A or B is 9 times larger than.
Let me see. The probability of A or B is 9 times more than the probability of neither A nor B. Shouldn't the 9 be on the left? Let me think. No, I think it should be on the right. I give you, I understand these things are sometimes hard, but I give you an example. There's my height. There's your height. Now I know this isn't true, but just to help you to understand it. If I said my height is twice as big as your height, which side should I put the 2 on? Your side, yeah. Okay. I think I have enough information now, don't I? This equation is useless. This equation here tells me, that tells me x equals y, doesn't it? Yeah. Doesn't it? If I take the x to the right. And if I sub that in here, I get 3x equals 9 times 1 minus 3x. I get x equals 3, 1 minus 3x. I get x equals 3 minus 9x. That's x equals 3 over 10. And y equals 3 over 10. So the Venn diagram now would look like this. I fill it in. 3 over 10, 3 over 10, 3 over 10, 1 over 10. Yep, that's it. You got that? Yeah? What else do we need to see now?
Can you look at page 126, number 3C?
One, two, six, three, C. Do you think the answer's wrong?
Oh no, I did it halfway out to ask, like, do you have to do it like 10C6, 10C7, 10C8?
Let's see.
This is majority. Is that it?
Yeah, yeah. Although, in the next lesson we have the tables to help us, but for this lesson you have to do it one by one.
Oh, okay.
Then it's okay. You weren't sure if there was a smarter way to do it, was it? Yeah, I'm afraid so. Okay, what's next now? Average? Okay. Which question? Yeah? Maybe. Number 8 on page 104. Yep. The mean average is 2.5. What's x? So that's 4 plus 1 plus 2 plus x over...
2 plus x. I did 2x.
Enough said? Okay. Oh, it's because I don't have a little comma, isn't it? Yeah, okay, fair enough. Yeah, which one?
Page 126, question 12. It wasn't on homework,
Did you try it?
nope, I just read it.
Don't worry, that's too difficult for the exam. I only put that in there if you wanted to try something difficult. So I don't think I'll do it because it's a little too hard. Yeah, so don't worry about it. But you can give it a try if you wanted to. Number 11 was really the last question that would be possible for the exam. And we did something like number 11 in class with the test tubes. What else do we need to see?
Average number 30.
Back to averages, okay. Okay, 13, yeah. Can we look at averages on 13? Yep. So, what is the mean average class length? So do you see in the table on the bottom of 104, you basically have a survey of people, 1,000 people, and you ask them, this is actually a real survey, you ask them how much money they have in their savings. So you can see 130 people said 0, 190 people said €1 to 1,000 euros, and then next one, and so on. What is the mean average class length? So the first interval, the people who have €0, well, that interval is just 0 to 0, so that's 0. Now the next interval, I don't know, it's not clear, it doesn't really matter too much if you want to count cent. But you might say, well, nobody's going to say I have €1,000 and 26 cents, in their savings. So you might feel like saying all these numbers can only be whole numbers. So in that case, 190 people are saying they have €1 to 1,000 euros. So that would be a width of 999. The next one, whatever it is, 50,000 minus 10,000, what is it? 3,999, is it? No. I'll need the calculator. Can someone just type in the 50,000 minus 10,001? That's 39,999, isn't it? Yeah? Oh, I skipped one, thanks. 8,999? Isn't it? 39? Which one am I on to now? 49,999? No? No. 100,000. Hang on. Am I skipping one? Hang on. The first one, second one, that one. Do I have the next one right? The fourth one? 50,000 minus 10,001. Okay. So the next one is 100,000 minus 50,001. That's 49,000. 49,999. Okay. And the next one is 250,000 minus 100,000 and one has 149,999. Goodness. The next interval, we don't know its length, do we? And the next interval, we definitely don't know its length. So we're only supposed to consider these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 values. So if you add them up and divide by 6, I hope you get about 41,666 roughly, looks like. Hopefully. Roughly. Okay. Is that okay? Yeah. Now the next part, calculate the average amount saved. You may exclude the don't knows, but you should include the people who said they have more than 250,000. So, do you remember how to get the average here? In total, there isn't 1,000 people because we're excluding the 49 people who don't know. So, what's that? 951 people. Yeah. Okay, so the first one is 0 times 130. Yeah. The second one is the middle of 1 to 1,000. What's that? 550 cents, is it? And how many are those? 90. And you get the idea, don't you? However, what are we supposed to do with those 30 people who say they have over 250,000? What are we supposed to do about that value? I give you a little hint. What should we do? Well, let's think about this. What about if we said those 30 people earned 250,000? What would be wrong with that? We know it's more than that. Okay. Well, what if we said they earned an infinite amount of money? Well, obviously that's silly, isn't it? So we have to pick a number that's bigger than 250,000, but not ridiculously bigger. 250, yeah, $250,000. Huh? Oh, so you're saying just go €1 extra in it? No, that's not. It's unlikely that those people who said they have more than 250,000 have only €1 more than 250,000. We have to choose a suitable number, yeah? 500 more? Not quite. So this number here previously was on average how wide each bin was. So what we could do is we could say, well, the last bin is maybe 250,000 to perhaps 250,000 to 250,000 plus 41666. It's our best guess we can make of how big the last bin is because we're using how big the previous bins were. Yeah. But of course we know we're not going to be right, but it's our best estimate we can make. So the number we should use here should be the middle of these two numbers as normal. So that would be 250,000 plus, what would that be? Whatever half of 41,666 is. 270833, like that. So what we're saying basically is that those 30 people, we're saying that they have in their savings about 271,000. That's more than 250,000. Not too much more and not too little more. Anyways, if you were to calculate that, hopefully you do get the number I have here, 29,332. What type of average is that? That is the mean average. Okay? What is the modal and the median average? What's the modal average? I don't even think there isn't. Is there? Oh, there is a clear modal average, isn't it? Between 1,000 and 10,000, roughly. So, roughly the modal average, I'll just write X mod like this, is roughly 5,000. No, sorry, between 5,500, isn't it? Basically, roughly 5,000. Yes? Yeah. And what about the median? Well, we don't count the don't knows. So we have about 951 people. So the middle of 951 people is, what's that, about person number 476, something roughly like this. So I think if you count that up, you discover that the median bracket is the same one. Yeah, the 1,000 to 10,000 bracket. So also, the median is roughly 5,000 euros. Now, I think this is a very interesting question because when I came across this, I was reading the newspaper, and the newspaper headline was, in Ireland, the average savings people have is 29,332. And I said, no, that can't be right, because I don't have 29,332 in savings. How could the average savings be 29,332? So I found the table that they used to get the calculation, and I discovered what they were giving me was this average. But I don't think that's a fair value to give, because you can see most people have 5,000 in their savings, and the middle person also has 5,000. So I would have thought a more honest average to give would be to say 5,000, because it's both the mode and the median. Half the people in Ireland have 5,000 in their account or less or more. You know what I mean? 5,000 is the number that splits the people 50-50. Half the people have more, half the people have less. And also 5,000 is the most common amount people have in their savings as well. So what's happening is you have lots of people with a little bit in their savings, a lot of people with 5,000, then some people with a little bit more, but then you have a small group of people out here that have a tremendous amount, and this is bringing the average up higher. So whenever you're talking about money, you should never really use the mean, because it makes it look quite different than what it really is. Yeah. Like, I would think even within this classroom, you know, my savings is currently less than 5,000. And I would say for this classroom, I think a lot of you would have in your bank account less than 5,000. Some of you might have more. It depends on the time of the year too, doesn't it? When I was saving up to get the deposit for my house, I had more than 5,000, and then afterwards I had 0. So on average I would say, yeah, okay, 5,000 does seem kind of like the right amount to be having in your savings, you know. You're going to be the same with your student fees. For a small period of time you will have several thousand, and then it will probably go to 0, and then maybe go up again a little bit. Right? Something like this? Yeah. Okay. I like this question because it actually is a real survey question here. And also what I like about it is it does have realistic problem in it. Like, what do you do about the people who say they don't know? Or what do you do about the people who say they have more than 250,000? You know? And the method I use to fix that is a common method anyways. Alright, what's the next one here? Oh, I'm kind of getting close to the end here. Could I have time to do one little question if there is one? Is that all for you for averages? Yeah. As I said, I'm correcting your courseworks, but I might be a little bit of time doing it because I have to correct the mid-semesters for the Intake 2 students. But of what I corrected so far, pretty much everybody, actually I think I've corrected maybe about, 12 courseworks, and the lowest result I've given so far is 40 out of 50. So the highest I've given is, I think it's 48. I think it's 48. Is that you? 48? I know it could be.
I think I'm the 40.
No, I don't think so.
Why?
Why what?
Why is it
Why do some people get 40 and some people get 48?
No.
Why do some people have more money and some people have less money? Why are some people smarter than other people? The difference here, so for example, the person who got 40, it looks like, you know, when the question with the cuboid, they didn't really put much effort into typing up that part, you know. It was kind of like, yeah, fuck, whatever, blah, blah, blah. I could tell that they didn't want to type it up, so they didn't type everything up. So they left a lot of blank space. Basically, everybody who tried it properly should be getting nearer to this than nearer to this, you know? Yeah.
Is it just like one person that got 40 or?
Yeah. Yeah, like, I mean, most of the people are hovering around this type of score, you know, which is not, I don't know if NCUK would be a little bit annoyed, you know, because it's basically like saying, oh, everybody gets plus 10%, you know, so I don't know if they'll be all wah about it, because sometimes they are, like they're saying, oh, the coursework are so high, and I'm like, don't know why. Beats me. Smart students, I guess. Okay, so when I give you the result, it's possible that NCUK will actually round it, or will deduct marks because they think it's too high. Yeah, it doesn't happen so much in the maths. It actually, of all the subjects, the one that it happens most in is the economics. Because I think the problem is the economics is an essay, so it's a little bit subjective. It's less subjective with the maths assignment. It's hard to say, oh, well, we have to give them less because the teacher was too generous. But the students got it right, you know. So, but with the economics, you can more easily knock 10% off everyone's assignment. I hope they don't do that here anyways. Okay. Are we finished for the week? Because isn't it, or do we have classes later in the week? Yeah. Anybody feeling like they would like a test at any time soon? Yeah, I think. No, I just mean a semester 2 test on what we've done so far. No. Just semester 1. I don't know about that. Okay. At some point in this semester, I'm going to have to give you a test to see how you're doing. Not yet, huh? Yeah, okay.